大家好
and welcome to
White Gaze,
where we whites gaze upon the drama,
the looks,
and the language of our newest favorite Chinese television show, Empresses in the Palace, otherwise known as
甄嬛传.
And my name is Trenty.
And I'm Big Westy.
And today we are getting into episode 19.
Oh, wow.
In the last episode, we saw the scheming going on that甄嬛has set up to try to figure out if Jade
is the spy. Is she the mole?
Yeah, because the whole episode we see them very skeptical about what's going on. And she goes through a whole bunch of shit, and we find out that Jade is the mole.
Right. It is very clear now that she has been feeding information to THIQUE, who has been giving it then to Huafei. And so now we see Huafei deep inside the trap that甄嬛has left. And last episode we left with a very, very big cliffhanger. So now we are here to actually get into the aftermath of that. And we begin this episode with Su Peixiong announcing that the Emperor has arrived.
I love that. And because, like, in a few minutes, we also see the Emperor is leaving. I love
You
that.
gotta announce.
You gotta let us know.
I want
Let the
people to
girls
announce
know.
when I arrive.
Never mind.
Say it!
No, it's just like arrive, come,
Oh, what you said? Queen.
Oh.
the same thing.
Anyways, yes. Okay. So the Emperor arrives and he says, what the fuck is going on here? And Huafei is like, oh my God, Daddy. I mean, it's weird. I just thought somebody was here, so I'm here to investigate. And then out from the corner comes甄嬛and Jingping.
Giggling. Bitch,
Giggling.
Giddy as fuck. They're like, we're here.
Smiling from ear to ear.
Wan Fuji and
They cannot even hide their glee at this moment. And Huafei is gooped. She's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
She's like, well, I heard there was commotion going on, so I needed to figure out what was going on.
Right, Jie, where else would I be? Where do you think I am,
Did
Jie?
you think I was somewhere else?
And they are gooped and gagged, and Huafei does not know how to proceed. And the Emperor's like, well, I'm here because you caused this drama that you thought that somebody was inside. And Jingping says, yeah, she did accuse that. So she probably definitely has some evidence. So that being said, you should definitely send somebody inside to make sure that Shen Meizhuang is not being unfairly scorned once again.
Well, yeah, because, well, first he's like, hold on, do you have a warrant?
Right. He was like, where's your paperwork? And Huafei's like, oh, sorry.
I don't have any paperwork.
In my haste, I didn't get any paperwork.
And he's like, so actually, you have no business going in there.
Right. And she was like,
So
well,
if you went in there and you found nobody, you're breaking the rules by going in there because nobody's supposed to be visiting her because she's in pussy prison.
right. And she was like, well, I would have found out myself if fucking bitch Orchid Momo had let me inside, but she didn't let me inside.
And he's like, actually, yeah, thank you for doing your job, Orca Momo. Promotion.
Right. You can work for me.
You're gonna work for me.
directly.
You're gonna work for me
Promotion.
because you're out here doing your job, baby.
Right. It's difficult, but you're doing it. And I respect that.
I got evaluated at work this week and came out in flying colors.
You better work and let him know, Diva.
We are in the midst of this drama when we do cut away and we see that the prince, who was playing Uzichi or some other game, was not allowed to go home, but he was permitted to stay. But he has to stay on this specific island at
The
the
Love
middle
Island.
at Love
The Love
Island.
Island.
He's going to Love Island.
A new bombshell has entered the villa. I can't do the Irish Scottish accent, whatever she says.
No, but you do try each time.
You know, ACL posted a video of Tuvalu like going out on stage at the festival, and it was like, a new bombshell has entered the villa. And it was fucking hilarious.
But anyways, before he goes to Love Island, he sends away all of his servants. And he's like, y'all,
I'll take the boat myself.
I'm going to go by myself. I need to go and get some lotus flowers for me.
Oh, because he's as am I offended by the the Taobao fake lantern lotus flowers.
Right.
Baby, in my world, we don't do silk flowers. We don't do Baby, just give me lotus.
So he goes across the lake all by himself to go harvest the fresh lotus flowers. And so we see him like go off on the boat by himself into the night. We don't know exactly where that ends.
We need this later, though.
We do. Because we do check back in on the investigation. Su Pei Sheng and his other dabais come back out and they discover that nobody was inside, actually. It was just Shen Meizhuang and a couple servants. And so the emperor is pissed because his game was interrupted. And so he goes over to Hua Fei and is like, listen, I've put up with your bullshit for too long, but you need to fucking stop causing trouble in my harem because I'm sick of it.
I was about to promote you. I was just about to promote you.
We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
We were rooting for you.
How dare you?
Why every time I think about Kimura Hall, I think about Enema Stone?
I have no idea. I mean, they are both beautiful. And they both wear designer clothes. But otherwise, the comparisons stop.
I think they're both kind of dumb.
Well, anyways, the emperor goes to Zhenhuan and is like, girl, I'm so glad you are not involved in this time. And she says, no, daddy, I would never disobey your orders.
Yeah, that's very hot.
We were both creaming at that. We were like, oh my God. Because, of course, Zhenhuan obviously is the orchestrator of all of this. She was not involved.
She was directly involved. She was directly involved in this.
And so anyways, the emperor leaves. They say, the emperor is leaving. And they're all kneeling.
Yeah, I want that.
And then suddenly, Hua Fei jumps up and looks over and says, you fucking bitch.
How dare you? I know that you did this.
I fell into your trap. And there you go. I should have taken you down when I had the chance.
Jinhuan's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
She's like, we're all friends. We all serve the emperor together.
Sisters do as sisters should. We're all together, sisters.
Oh, wow.
There is this very tense moment where Zhenhuan and Hua Fei get very close. And I kept thinking like, kiss.
Oh my God, are they going to make out?
Kiss.
Please send us the fanfiction.
Fanfic where they kiss in this moment. Yeah, I want that lesbian fic for me. But otherwise, they leave and Zhenhuan is just smiling ear to ear. And she goes home and is just like getting ready for the next step of this plan. Because the plan's not over. Because we see that Orchid Momo goes back to the guards. Because Jingping had asked that half the guards be dismissed. Shen Meizhuang has been really obeying her quarantine orders and hasn't been causing a problem. She hasn't been holding up any A4 paper. And so half the guards deserve to get dismissed.
Calm down, bitch.
And it works. The emperor dismisses half the guards. Now, Orchid Momo then goes to the rest of them to be like, by the way, Zhenhuan gave you all this money to get a big buffet. So why don't y'all all go on to the big buffet? And they're like,
no, we're on the clock. We're not supposed to be eating. And they're like, so you're not hungry.
Right. Because if you want this delicious ass free meal, you better go now with me. And by the way, Zhenhuan is paying for this, and Zhenhuan is loved by the emperor. So if y'all get in trouble, Zhenhuan is gonna cover for you.
Wanna know what? No, I am gonna leave.
And that works. That's enough for them.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't go, then
the Zhenhuan's gonna be pissed.
The disrespect.
Right. So they all leave. They all go. So literally nobody is left guarding Shen Meizhuang's palace.
Thank God.
Because we jump back. We jump back to Xiao Yunzi giving fucking Zhenhuan the receipts. Being like, by the way, my mistress, the minute you left, Jade went to go talk to Cao Guiren.
Just as I thought. Trash.
And we knew it. Because how else would Huafei show up like that?
And
with
Jen
all the
Huan knew it
information?
too. This was the trap. She laid it and she knew it. She laid it and she knew it. So she was like, okay, I get it, but I'm about to change.
It's just hard for all of us to accept.
It is, because I thought that Jade would be a better girl, but obviously she is basic. Obviously Jade has no loyalty. And obviously Jade either is so horny or so like...
Troubled. She's a troubled girl.
She's not troubled. She's delusional. Like... She thought that she could come in as a maid and be elevated higher than Yu Daying, and she can't even sing Kun Chu. No, what is her talent?
Thank God she can't.
She has no talent. She has no charisma. She has no uniqueness. She does have nerve, but she has no talent. So she's just nerve. She's just a
And it do take nerve.
It do, but all she is a
I said what I said.
It's inferred that Xiao Yunze has arranged a boat for Jen Huan, which immediately was triggering my mind because I knew that the 17th
We're talking about boats. Yeah.
has gone on a boat. So I'm like, oh my God, are they going to crash? Like, what are their boats going to do? But before we can figure out what she does on that boat, we do cut back to Huafei, who is pissed as hell. She is mad back at her house. Tao Guiren was like, I'm so sorry. This is kind of my fault. And she's like, you're right. It is your fault. Because you told me that Jen Huan was going into that house. And by the way, you came to tell me that so quick. Why did you tell me it that quick? You're usually a level-headed person. But you ran to tell me that information. Why was that?
You know what? Honestly, Tao Guiren was just running to tell her that information because she's on her side. But I think in the future it's going to be twisted because we've got the perfume situation.
Right. Well, not only do we have the perfume situation, but Tao Guiren is like, oh girl, bring in the poppers. And they bring in those incense. And the incense comes into the room and she's like, yes, my lady, smell the incense and be relaxed. Let your asshole unclench. And don't be mad at me.
We should do a double Scorpio ad.
We should. I know, but those bitches better pay us.
They're really good at messaging back on Instagram. I'll text them.
You better. But I believe that Huafei in this scene has a really good quote. She tells Tao Guiren that she's like,
就怕只见新人笑，不闻旧人哭了。
I worry that the emperor only sees the smiles from the new girls and the tears from the old girls.
Well, bitch, her name is Smile.
Well, yes, Jen Huan's name literally is Smile. That's true. But I think it's the same. It's like when you're with somebody for a very long time, you are definitely going to see more of their like tears and emotion that you can begin to think that, oh, well, the people I've been with the longest are only emotional. Whereas the people that you just meet out the blue, you're like, oh, well, they're always happy. So I'm going to spend more time with them because they're always smiling. But it's like a false equivalency because those new people also have tears, but because they're new, they're not going to show those to you. Do you disagree?
I will unpack this with my therapist.
Okay, you know what? Let's take a break on that one. Let's take a break on that one. Hi there. It's Trenty from the world-famous White Gaze podcast. And I'm here to ask you, are you feeling sad?
Are you suffering from crippling anxiety?
Have you ever been trapped outside of a foreign country for an uncomfortable amount of time while you wait on your visa?
I'm not comfortable with sharing my trauma on the pod.
Well, either way, BetterHelp is there for you. BetterHelp is an online therapy service for people who can afford it. You can access them at betterhelp.com.
period. There is no promo code because we are not actually sponsored by BetterHelp. But if you subscribe to our podcast, then we can use that money to pay for the services that we so desperately need.
We thank you in advance.
Okay, we are back, and we see that Zhenhuan is gonna actually sneak into Shen Meizhuang's apartment.
Right. Finally, she is dressing up like Jade, like she told her originally to actually sneak in. And so we see that Orchid Momo is like, okay, you've got like a little bit of time, go inside, and that's all I can do for you. And
Which, besides all of the drama and narratives that we get in this scene, the one thing that stuck out the most to me was like, hurry the fuck up, bitch, and get out of that palace.
you were really anxious this entire scene.
I was very anxious because I didn't want anything to happen. I don't want people showing up because then everything, all of the work that was put in, all of the scheming would be to waste. So it's just like pop in, say hi to your girl, and say, listen, bitch, I love you. Shit's going down. Here's a Cliff Notes on what has happened.
Right.
And I am trying my hardest to get you out of here. These are my updates.
Right. I guess the difference for me is like dramatically, I knew it was going to be okay for them because the music was really romantic.
You've got to get in the scoring.
Right. The music was not dramatic in a way where it made me feel like very nervous. It was just very emotional. Right. And emotion in a way that I do think that whoever wrote this scene deserves to be nominated for an Emmy. Like, the writing of the scene is so beautiful. The lines that Shen Meizhuang shares in this are so poignant and beautiful. Zhenhuan is acting her fucking pussy off. She is crying and giving facial expressions, and like the whole scene had me wrapped from beginning to end. So congratulations to these actors. Congratulations to the writers and the director, because this was This was drama.
A beautiful scene.
It was. One of the funny things to note, though, was that before she actually goes in, though, Orchid Momo lets them know that she did slip some sedatives into the tea of the guards. So the guards that are on duty have been drugged. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That's my thing, is like, whenever somebody offers me a drink, it's like, is there because if there's not, I don't want it.
Child. Anyway, so.
But once she's inside the chamber, they are so overcome with emotion, because imagine, how long has it been? It's been like the whole summer that they haven't seen each other. Mm-hmm. It's like when we got locked inside in the spring, and the first time that I saw y'all, like at the gate of my community. Do you remember that day?
I do.
It was awful that day. I mean, it was good to see you, but it was like awful. It was hard.
You were so scared to like just go on a walk around the corner.
Because it was technically illegal. It was technically illegal. And it wasn't until I saw the representative from my building like fully walk out without a mask on, just boldly into the street, that I realized like, oh, what the people are telling me is not true. Like, I can leave my community, but nobody's actually told us that yet. And it was like this very like Stockholm syndrome that I was experiencing.
Well, because we went on a full thing that day, didn't
We
we?
did, and nothing ever happened.
We bought coffee from the store.
We did.
We saw Jennifer and Georgia.
It was a crazy day.
Francesca.
It was a crazy day, and I just felt like I was an outlaw when it turns out it was just like nobody knew what the law was, and nobody cared to inform the rest of us that these lockdown measures were being lifted in any sort of way. It was really crazy. But I really identified with the emotion that Jen Huan had with Shen Meizhuang, where it's like, my friend's been in lockdown this whole time and I haven't been able to see them, and like finally I am able to see you, and it's just so emotional.
It's very emotional.
I really resonated with that. And Jen Huan looks around and she notices like how basic her chamber is. She's like, what? This is the palace of like the lunar moon? What are you talking about?
Yeah, and Shen Meizhuang is like, yeah, it's not been great around here. They haven't been taking care of me. And even when they light the candles, she's like, we don't even light these candles anymore because it's too much smoke.
Right, and Jen Huan is like, yeah, the servants don't even use these candles. Like, why are they giving them to you? Like, this is the shittiest thing I've ever seen. And Shen Meizhuang shares this beautiful quote, which I will include, which is, she says something about,
心都够暗了，再不见些亮光，可不是黑透了吗？
I have to use these candles anyway, because I have such a heart of darkness that if I don't let any light in, I will be consumed by it.
Girl.
Can you believe? That's how I felt too, bitch. That's how I felt too.
If I could ever fucking relate to something. Oh my God.
And they're just crying. The tears are beautiful. Give these girls the Emmys.
If you come to my house, you can see that it's covered in candles.
But the root of this scene comes when Jen Huan does, you know, kind of confront Shen Meizhuang to say, you know, all of this happened because of the trouble with your pregnancy. So, like, legit, what happened there?
And yeah, until Shen Meizhuang is like, I thought that I was pregnant and I did not know until my maid ran out with the bloody rags.
Right, until she betrayed me in that moment, I had no idea. But before that, she even says, like, Jen Huan, I thought you were my sister, and even you are going to doubt me? Why would I fake my pregnancy? I was in such favor with the emperor that pregnancy was going to happen eventually. So why would I lie?
Did I lie?
Motherfucker's breeding me every night.
Right, he is dumping that fat load inside my pussy every single day.
I wish I could relate.
Jen Huan's basically made up her mind. She's like, yeah, no, you were set up by your maid, but your maid must have known from Hua Fei or somebody else. Like, everybody should have been involved. Whoever Jing, Dr. Jing, and whoever appointed Liu Ben, like, all of them must have been involved in this plot somehow.
Well, it all ties back to those daddy's cummies pills.
Right, exactly. Which Liu Ben was prescribing on the recommendation from Hua Fei's doctor, Dr. Jing. Despite all of this, Jen Huan is like, well, the emperor will give you your justice. You have to believe in him. You have to believe in his love.
You just sounded so fucking Christian just now. You have to believe in his love. You have to let him.
With every bone in my body, I love him so much because he's done so much for me.
No, I didn't say that. Jen Huan said that. Jen Huan said that. Anyways.
Quote of the season.
Shen Meizhuang said the quote of the episode, maybe the quote of the season, maybe the quote of the year, to be honest. And she says,
补偿我这些天的苦痛，岂是他能补偿我的？把我捧在手心，又气我不信我。皇上，他真的是好薄情啊。
How can he possibly compensate for all of my suffering? Jen Huan previously had said, you know what, you'll get your compensation and you'll get your justice for what he's done. And she says, no. How can he possibly compensate for locking me inside my house, for preventing me from talking to my friends or seeing anybody who cares about me, and forcing me into this situation, which I did not deserve, nor did I do anything to warrant. And yet,
with
okay,
no end. With
no end.
No end.
And yet later he's going to vindicate me and give me my justice? No, none of that makes up for that.
There is no justice.
There is none. And to be honest, girls, same. like the way, I mean, I totally relate to her because I feel the same. It's like, you can do this to me and I can suffer it, but I will never forget what you did to me. And I will never let you off the hook for that. And so, like, this year having been such a shithole for literally everybody that lives in China, it doesn't matter if you're a foreigner or if you're a Chinese person, this year has been shit. Like, across the board. And it doesn't matter what type of, like, apologies are given later, or it doesn't matter how easy things become, or what regulations end up getting easier or less strict.
None of those things have happened.
But it will never make up for the fact that we suffered this year. Like, in intolerable ways. In ways that are not excusable.
Or humane.
This scene really resonates, I think, with everybody who's lived through 2022 in China. Because, you know, we can suffer in these ways, but how can any compensation make up for that suffering? I don't know.
And only you listening on Apple and Spotify get to hear this.
Right. This section will be deleted on Bilibili, unfortunately. So please sign up for our subscriptions in that case. But anyways, they end up having a tearful goodbye, but their friendship and their love is reinforced.
You know, in this moment, I'm resonating with Orchid Momo.
Right, because Orchid's like, bitch, get the fuck out.
And I'm sitting here like, come on. She's telling you to go. Somebody's coming.
Right.
And then whenever she pops out, there's a camera angle. And I'm like, oh no. I don't like this camera angle because this camera angle is giving me somebody in the bushes.
Right. There, it does appear to be like somebody's watching her.
And I don't like that.
Right. Well, but she does leave, but she does end up encountering a line of guards. I'm not sure who they are because they're wearing a different, like, outfit than the rest.
They're yellow and red and they're
Right.
With their lanterns.
So she sort of, like, ducks away and she sees a little boat to the side. So she's like, let me jump inside of this boat. Bitch, guess who's inside?
My baby daddy, the 17th Prince.
Girl, I screamed. And this is like, it's too much. Like, the romantics of it, like, the dramatics of it. It's too much.
And we hear the guards saying, who's there? Who is it?
Right, because they hear the jostling and the splashing. So she just holds her finger to her mouth. She says,
don't say a word.
Shh. And thankfully, the 17th Prince plays along. So he goes out, he says, hey, what do you want?
Why'd you wake me up?
It's me. It's just me. Nobody else. It's me.
I was having my beauty sleep. You woke me up. How dare you? Would you like me to tell the emperor?
Right. So they leave him alone.
That you woke me up? Oh, no. Bye.
And so this is a very horny scene for me. But I have to admit, I don't understand like 90% of it.
You stupid fucking dinosaur!
Did you?
I was a little bit lost. I think we may have been eating tacos during this time.
There was dinner being had. But there is a culture alert for sure. Culture alert. Now, usually in these moments, Demi would fill us in. Or our Plum Blossom darling would let us know. However, we don't have them anymore. So
they are giving us some sort of story about some previous emperor concubine brother situation.
Historical myth, maybe. Like, there was a girl who maybe brought down the Wu kingdom because she was a slutty whore, but then somebody else brought down the Yue kingdom for being a slutty whore. I'm not really sure, but basically they're paddling.
If I could take down the Xi kingdom by being a slutty whore.
Okay, well,
it would have been over for the bitches long ago.
Okay, well, anyways, despite that, he makes a compliment to her. He's like paddling through the lake and saying like, wow, I feel like I'm this man in the presence of this woman. And she says, do not compare me to her, because she did this evil thing. And then they get through this like history part. So listeners, please let us know what this means, because I feel like there's some flirting. I feel like there's some metaphor, some allusion going along here. And I, in our whiteness, I just don't understand. I don't get it.
I'll text Beaver and I'll text Michelle.
Okay, they definitely know.
You text Nick.
I'll text Nick. There's quotes on quotes from this scene, and I'll include some of them here for posterity, but ultimately, there's a lot of flirting going on. There's a lot of tension here, don't you think?
情不知所起，一往而生。生者可以死，死亦可生。
Like, if she was not so, like, lovingly devoted to the emperor, she would...
Hopelessly devoted to you.
She would be fucking down. She would be riding his dick on that boat. But luckily, she doesn't. However, she does tell him...
Hold on. Very important piece missing.
What?
They bring up a scent.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, that's just my satchel." So, Zhenhua notices some sort of scent. It's like a scent of love or something that she's smelling. And he's like, "Oh, that's just my satchel." And then like later on we see the satchel drop.
He had dropped it on the floor, and so she picks it up.
Did he know that the satchel had dropped?
I don't know. I'd have to look back, but I don't think so.
But she sees the satchel, and she picks it up and opens it up, and inside, if we can rewind back to what festival was that?
This was like the Lunar New Year. This was the New Year Festival. Spring Festival, yeah.
The previous Spring Festival. We're talking Ox.
Yeah, this
was
episode 5. This was episode 5.
Whenever they were doing arts and crafts.
Yes. And Xiao Yunzi made her face.
And they said, "Oh, it kind of looks like you, Huanbi."
Right, it looks like Jade a little bit.
She left it in the forest on the tree that day.
Yes.
Whenever she
was making the wish.
Whenever she was being a little whore in the garden. Oh, right. You can't see my whore feet.
Yeah, showing her feet, her toesies, yes.
He picked it up that day because he knew that was the woman that he loved.
And he kept it in his satchel.
So
imagine.
And so she sees it and she's like, "Oh, put that back in there. Let me put that back."
I mean, imagine like finding the wallet of a man that you just like happen to see a couple times and he has your photo inside of it. That's stalker behavior. That's crazy. So she like immediately was like, "Here, take back your satchel and do not show this to anybody."
Some girls dream of this.
I don't. That's freaky to me. No.
I'm attracted to the serial killer type.
Okay, so if you're a sociopath listening, add Big Westy on WeChat and he will suck your dick.
Take the first part out. Just add Big Westy on WeChat and he will suck your dick.
So anyway, she gives him back his satchel, and yeah, then we get back into the part where she was like, by the way...
She was like, "Hey, if anybody were to ever come across the satchel, don't show them what's inside."
Don't show them what's inside. And also, like, we never met on the night of the drama, and we also never met tonight. Don't get it twisted. We've never met. like
if somebody says that I was with Duan Fei that night, I sure was.
Do not correct them. And if anybody says that you were alone tonight, admit it. You were. Because I'm not. And he was like, "Well, why don't you come back to Love Island with me? Like, you can stay here. It's okay." And she was like, "Girl, it's not my first rodeo.
No.
I'm going away. I cannot be here.
I'll see you next time.
He's really fine.
I want to see him fuck.
Okay, let's take a break. Let's take a break on that.
Oh, I love this pink guava drink.
Introducing the new guava green tea frozen smoothie from Dian. One taste will transport you back to all of the tropical shores of all of the destinations that you would like to visit, but you cannot because of travel restrictions. Tasting of guava and green tea, you can imagine yourselves frolicking between the waves. Head on down to Dian now.
You can buy this drink between the months of June and July, so it is no longer available. All right, we are back.
And it is the showdown of the century. This is the moment we've been waiting for this whole time.
Honestly, it was a little less spicy as I wanted it to be, but it was dramatic.
We see Jade pacing back and forth through the chamber, and then Jinhwan enters.
And she enters in Jade's robe, and
Right.
so Jade thinks that
The plan has gone according.
the plan has happened.
And she's like, oh.
She's like, oh, what took you so long?
What took you so? I was so worried about you. And Jinhwan said, worried about what? Why were you worried? Oh, snap! Was there something going on?
Did you maybe tell somebody what was going on?
Were you disappointed to see me here? Like, so fresh and so clean?
She's like, because let me tell you, Huafei is very upset about what happened tonight.
Right, actually, the emperor scolded Huafei, if you can believe.
And she's like, oh, no, what happened?
What happened?
She scolded Huafei? Why?
And Jinhwan shares this amazing quote about wasted rice on the chicken.
谁叫他偷鸡不得反蚀一把米，害人不会有好报的。浣碧，你说是不是？
And she's like, and but after that quote, she was like, and you know all about that, don't you, Jade?
And Jade is like gooped and she's just like trying to recover. And like Jinhwan is stone faced. Her face does not move. She's just staring.
And this is where we get the big reveal.
Well, there's a lot of accusations. And I wrote down, get her, Jade. Not like the meme, get her, Jade. But like, no, get her, Jade.
Get Jade. Get Jade.
Get her, Jade. Because she finally accuses her of being like, yeah, you're informing against me to THIQUE Ren and Huafei, and I don't understand why that's possible. And Jade is like, no, it's not me. What do you mean? How could that be me? And she's like, it couldn't be anybody else but you. I thought it came through when I was in the government palace, when THIQUE Ren embarrassed me in front of the emperor, and I couldn't figure out who it was. And which is crazy because actually, this gets into our whispers from the palace, but when we recorded that episode, we blamed it on Xiaoxiazi, who was like, you know, a eunuch at the time.
Wait, which one about the...
When THIQUE Ren and Jinhwan had that face-off in the government palace with the emperor right there, where THIQUE Ren was like embarrassing Jinhwan.
About doing the...
about like being like, you know, when the emperor got very jealous.
Oh, yes.
Because of what THIQUE Ren said. We thought that was Xiaoxiazi who said it. But actually, one of our listeners wrote in, thank you for writing this comment. They wrote in to say, no, it wasn't Xiaoxiazi. It was Jade who had told this information to THIQUE Ren. So this has been going on longer than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jinhwan in this moment is confirming that by saying, listen, that happened at that time, and I thought it had to be somebody close to me. I just couldn't believe it was my sister! Oh, snap!
Which I was shocked at this moment because I didn't know that Jade knew.
I think Jade knew that her father was the same. She had to have known. I think she had to have known.
I didn't know that, but she did know, but she just didn't know that Zhenhuan know.
Right. So she thought she was bearing the secret, but Zhenhuan actually confessed. She's like, no, I've known this whole time. And I've actually been trying to help you, bitch. I've actually been trying to find you a good husband. Because if you had stayed at home, you'd only be marrying a fucking servant. But I've been here trying to make sure that you can get a good fucking husband.
I brought you here.
I brought you here.
I did. I made sure that you were the one that came with me.
Right.
To be by my side.
But you know what? Jade at first didn't believe it. Jade was like, well, how dare you accuse me? And she was like, smell your fucking clothes.
And this comes in from the last episode whenever she went to Talgui Ren's and she gave her the
emerald honey.
Emerald honey.
It's pure.
I get you stuck in my love.
And she goes ahead and she smells her cuffs and she's like, fuck, it is the emerald honey.
It's the emerald honey, baby. Because you were at Talgui Ren's house.
Yes.
Because the shit is strong.
It's so strong.
You walk in the room, it's on your cuffs,
it's
bitch.
It's on your cuffs. And Zhenhuan knew that. And Zhenhuan was like, I know that you've betrayed me, and now you know that I know that you've betrayed me.
Are we going to say that Zhenhuan maybe cuffed it on this?
She cuffed it, baby. She cuffed it.
Was it a little cuff it moment?
It was a cuff it moment. And
was she cozy in those
Well, I mean, Zhenhuan's always been comfortable in her skin, cozy with who she is. But she was saying to Jade that how dare she act in this way, because if she was being indiscreet, they could get their father sent to Ninguta.
Girl, not sending the girls to Siberia.
Yeah, I don't know where that is, but it sounds really awful.
Well, shout out to our good Judy Carson Way and the rest of the Magpie Bridge Brigade. They told us that is like a frozen
really
frozen place on the outskirts that people get sent to as like imprisonment.
Zhenhuan also shares a little bit of poetry here because she's like, listen, with these other bitches, I've been walking on the tip of their knives this whole time. Like, why do I have to now worry about my fucking handmaids?
My sister
doing all this shit
that I brought here to protect.
Right. So in this moment, I was like really primed. I was like, okay, she's going to fire this bitch. She's going to kill her. She's going to do something else. But you know what she does? She says, I am going to change the lineage in my family's book to make you an official part of my family.
Oh, wow.
Well, because before she brought that up, she was like, guess what, bitch? You're not a part of my family. According to anybody else besides us, you don't exist.
If you died, you'd be in an unmarked grave, bitch. Nobody would give a shit
with
about
nothing.
You. With nothing. But luckily for you, I'm going to put you in my family's book. I'm going to get you a good husband. And I'm going to take care of you. So now what, bitch? And I was gagged. I was like, this is the most gracious I've ever seen.
It's not official. I don't think it's official yet.
I think it's official. Zhenhuan always does what she says she's going to do.
Well, I'm saying, like, we gotta wait. We gotta, like, maybe say some shit. Maybe say some shit to Huafei or to Talgui Ren.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen because she acknowledges that now Huafei is actually pissed at Jade for giving her bad information.
Because it was bad information.
So I think Jade is ruined. I think if Jade goes back to Huafei will definitely kill her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Jade is now definitely in Zhenhuan's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not going anywhere.
But I think this puts an even bigger target on Zhenhuan. It's like she has to...
It does. But I think that she has the power to back it up.
Yeah.
She's not just like some weakling in the corner. Like, she's got Jingpin on her side. She's got Duanfei on her side. No, she's got Anling Rong on her side.
Fuck the girls. She has education on her side.
Right, she's got some poetry. That comes in later. Because we see in the next scene that she's trying to go to bed. Jingxi is lighting some incense. Burning some
patchouli,
some sage to cleanse the spirits.
Listen to this. I saw this fucking sage. I had this man over the other night, And after we did the business, I have a sage stick in my room.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, what, are you gonna burn this after I leave to like get rid of my energy?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do."
I mean, was it a bad energy? You didn't want to keep it around?
No, it wasn't bad energy. It was just French energy, and so yes, exactly. It was. But it had nothing to do with him. I burn the sage after anybody leaves my house.
Well, anyways,
especially you.
Oh. Anyway, Jen Huan was asking Jinxi, because Jinxi's been in the palace for a long time. She was like, how is it that Jingping has been able to survive long enough under Huafei? Because Huafei is ruthless, but Jingping has been here for a long time. And Jinxi says, unfortunately, that the emperor doesn't really like her that much. So it doesn't really matter to Huafei.
Well, Jinping's the one with like the dumbass son, isn't she?
No, that's Qifei.
Oh, Qifei, yes, Qifei.
Jinping doesn't have a kid, I don't think. And it's just that, you know, she doesn't have that love. So Huafei is not like totally intent upon destroying her.
Exactly.
Right.
She's not a threat.
They do theorize something that I also think, where they begin to think that, well, why would Cao Guiren, who is really measured and really logical, why would she go to Huafei with unverified information unless she wanted to encourage Huafei to walk into the trap?
She may have.
Which would mean that Cao Guiren is actually not so much in Huafei's corner anymore.
After she's been poisoning her baby?
Literally. I mean, like, that's why it's obvious to me. That's why, like, I would expect that behavior, but everybody else seems pretty shocked by that.
Yeah, she's been poisoning her baby.
Yeah, you poisoned my baby. I'm gonna make sure that you embarrass yourself and maybe die for it. Like, I'm over you. In the next scene, the girls are doing girly things where they're making tea for their maids and just, like, hanging out in the street when they discuss the fact that the 17th prince has unexpectedly gone to Sichuan province. Allegedly, he's heard that that's where all the bottoms are.
Oh. No, baby, we're right here.
Well, I guess that this means that the 17th prince is among Yi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Daddy.
Mm-hmm. You know, Vermilion is just being, like, pretty flazé-da about it. But Jade is getting, like, a little serious. Like, oh, my God. Like, I want him to come back. So Jade's like, what? Vermilion's like, what? You want to marry him? And Jade's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. I'll kill you. And then they start, like, getting up and, like, fighting in girly ways, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, in the next scene, I'm going to post this on the Instagram.
I hope you do. I hope you do. Because finally something will be posted to the Instagram.
Fuck off. Some of us have jobs. In the next scene, we see that the emperor is getting ready for bed and he's like reading. And so Su Pei-sheng comes up and he's like, babe, if you need to go to bed, go to bed.
Right. And I do want to point out, he's reading the poetry of Su Shi, which I just coached a student on their speech, and they involve Su Shi. Did you know that Su Shi was sort of like a Renaissance man, where he was involved in poetry, he wrote stories.
Act 1?
This doesn't matter to you because you're a vegetarian, but he is responsible for Hong Xiao Rou.
Hey, okay, I know her.
You know her? It's like that very barbecue pork, but it's like very thick, sweet sauce. It's so delicious. So he's not only a poet, but he's a food extraordinaire. He's like very well rounded. So I know all about who Su Shi is because of this student. So thank you, Apple. Thank you.
Shout out to Apple. But he's getting ready for bed. He's reading the poetry, and he's missing Chen Huan.
Because nobody can discuss poetry with him like Jen Huan. Famously, Su Pei-sheng says, I don't understand poetry.
Oh my God. I died. He's like, well, because he starts reading the poem, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's smiling and he says, sure.
Uh-huh. I don't understand it. That's me and that drag queen.
You and, what is her name, Chow Chow?
No,
Qian.
Dato.
Dato, it's you and Dato.
Every time I see Dato out, it's like we're having a conversation, but I'm speaking in English and she's speaking in Chinese, and just somehow we know exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
I probably don't,
but there is communication happening.
The thing is she's probably in my face saying, "You ugly ass bitch, shave that fucking mustache," and I'm just like, "Oh yes, bitch, you look so fierce tonight. Oh my god, how are you doing? How was your weekend?" And she's like, "You stupid ugly ass bitch."
But anyways, that miscommunication does not happen in our palace, thankfully, because Su Peixiang does go to give Zhen Huan a box of poetry. And not only is it a box of poetry, but there's a knot inside.
Love knot.
Love knot. We cut back to the Empress, who has just come out of her shower. She's in her jammies, and she's going to bed with the Emperor, who is fully asleep already.
What's her maid's name?
I forgot, but she's fierce. Yeah.
Just whispering in the ear.
Right, whispering, "Oh, he gave a love knot to the other
He
girl."
gave a love knot to Zhen Huan.
And at first she was mad. She was mad at first. But then she didn't get mad because she realized, she asked, "Well, has he spent the night with Hua Fei recently?"
No.
No, he hasn't.
And then she sleeps soundly that night. She cuddles up to her man. Mm-hmm. And I relate to this. This was me on fucking Tuesday night cuddling up to that man that had just fucked me.
And did not care if you lived or died.
And does not love me.
But you still cuddled there.
I try so hard to make him love me, but he just will not.
That brings us to the end of this episode. What do you think is going to happen in the future?
I hope I get pregnant.
No, not with you.
More loyalty from Jade. I
think actually Jade is going to be put on the back burner. I think Jade's gotten a lot of FaceTime in the last 3 episodes. I think they're going to put her to the back. So I don't think we're really going to see a lot of Jade. I think the drama with Liu Ben and Shen Meizhuang is going to have to come out. We've seen this amazing scene with her now. We have to see her freed.
Well, okay, so we were discussing this earlier. I thought that Liu Ben, we saw him die.
No, he's not dead. We saw him almost die. We saw
a cheesy scene with
right. It was a really cheesy scene because Hua Fei was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
To let the truth die with him. But the man was just holding up the knife too slowly and dramatically that Liu Ben had enough time to hit him and get away. So I do believe that I think in the next episode Liu Ben will come back to light. Otherwise, Shen Meizhuang has to come out. She has to.
Yeah, they're not going to just keep her in there forever. Something will come up of her fake pregnancy not being anything that she knew about.
Right. I do think Hua Fei is going to do something crazy soon. Hua Fei has really been reacting recently. I think she's going to start acting. She's going to do something now to Zhen Huan. Or she's going to do something to An Ling Rong. We really haven't seen An Ling Rong in a long time, too. Ever since she became the #1 girl, we really haven't seen her in the drama.
Yeah, we just seen her face, but nothing going on.
I mean, we saw her slaying the sewing challenge, but of course she did. We haven't really seen her.
We knew that.
Yeah. Do you have any other predictions?
No, I just want redemption for Jade and redemption for Shen Meizhuang.
All right, let's pray for those, and let's take a quick break.
Hey, Cam!
Hey, Gio!
Guess what?
What?
We're doing a podcast!
We are doing a podcast, an unofficial Disney podcast.
Yes! Ooh, I love Disney!
And do you know what makes us different from other podcasts?
Yes, We're not two white women drinking wine and talking about true crime.
Well, yeah, but besides that, we're reviewing Disney animated classics without any accreditation.
Oh, yeah, that too. That's right. We're not film critics or mental health professionals.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but we are adults with opinions about the films that shaped our childhood.
This pod is perfect for Disney lovers from moderate to extreme.
And it's designed for the Disney adult in mind. So take your multivitamin or your Boniva and prepare your cocktail, because Cam and I are ready to walk down memory lane.
And answer the tough questions like, how did Ariel decide which sea creatures are her friends and which ones are underwear?
Oh wait, where does Tarzan get his body waxed?
Right!
We're gonna answer all them questions. So tune into Your Bare Necessities, the unofficial, much-needed Disney podcast.
Available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast. Forget about your ways and your strife. You got the...
You don't have to sing Fade It Out. You can just sing and I could fade you. It's an audio medium.
We are back, and it is time for
本周心机争宠装.
And honestly, I gotta say, Big Westy, the girls this week were not serving.
Well, it's not like something that I was thinking about while I was watching the episode.
No, there was so much drama, and all the drama happened like during the nighttime. Like all the girls were already either in their jammies or like it was the morning after. It wasn't as if they were getting ready for the workroom or for a party, you know?
Yeah, and so I am going to go with just the all-star of the episode, the girl who came through, and the girl who gave for what she was giving, and that is Orchid Momo.
Oh my god, yes. I could not agree with you more. Like, Orchid Momo not only served in the looks department, because I've never seen a Momo look so, like, sleek, but also she was serving in the loyalty department, because she made sure that not only did she prevent Huafei from entering, but she also made sure that Zhenhuan could sneak in. So, like, I can't know a better bitch than Orchid Momo for winning this week. Congratulations.
Congrats. And that was
本周心机争宠装.
Now it's time for our segment called Whispers in the Palace. And this is our segment where we get into all of our viewer feedback and all of our comments and concerns that we receive, and there is a lot of whispers that have been, I mean, it's more than whispers at this point. There's been a lot of commotion in this palace. So first of all, we've got a lot of good from our viewers on Bilibili that have been asking us to update. Clearly we have updated, and we are so happy for your continued support. But I also want to special shout out to everybody who leaves us a comment on Apple Podcasts or leaves us a comment on Spotify Podcasts. I want to give a shout out to Jacobs Willow for leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much. We hope you are enjoying what we have to offer. Thank you so much. We also want to thank our subscriber.
Oh, big shout out to my friend Jackie, living it up in Ho Chi Minh right now.
Oh my gosh, our Vietnam fan. We are international.
We love you, Jackie, and we really appreciate your support. I miss you deeply, and I'm really enjoying your apartment.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I just want to let us know, for everybody leaving comments like on Bilibili as well, you say that you want to see our reaction videos. We are going to be doing these in the future as a part of our IFADN. So if you would like to see our reaction videos, you can definitely subscribe and see those video contents. But also, I think we have to get into some of the drama. because we've caused some drama.
We have caused some drama.
So on Bilibili, we do post some of our videos, just, to do some promo. And unfortunately, some people are not living.
So a few weeks ago, somebody was very upset about how we reacted to seeing Ending Wrong being wrapped in the blanket burrito and carried off into the Emperor's bed.
Right. So specifically the comment said, I feel particularly that it was disrespectful to the history and culture of other countries. Even if this culture has been eliminated in the current era, but history is objective and we can't take the current values to judge history, especially the history of other countries, with no respect.
I said what I said.
Now, I want to say to this person, Jarvan Vu, that I hold space for you and I hear you and I respect your opinion. And it was never our intention to disrespectfully speak on behalf of the Chinese culture. Obviously, we live here, we laugh here, we love here, we live here. So that is clearly not on our menu. So I just think that perhaps this podcast is not for you.
Sorry, Jarvan.
The thing is, though, there is lots of things in our own culture that we make fun of also. So it's not as if we have come on this pod to specifically just denigrate Chinese culture and make a mockery of it. In fact,
I don't think that we have.
Well, I think in the cases where we
laughed
right,
because it's a very silly thing.
It really is absurd to carry a person in a blanket burrito such as that. And yes, I can understand that it is historically significant. But at the same time, I can think of things in American history that are historically significant that are also similarly absurd, that I will still laugh at today.
I don't think there was anything negative said about what was happening. It was silly.
It was silly. And
imagine, being wrapped up in a blanket and toted away by men to go get fucked.
It's
precisely.
It's
silly.
It is absurd, and we're not saying that from an elitist point of view. We're just saying that, if I saw that happen, I would be asking some questions, which we clearly did on the pod.
That's silly.
But yes, please continue to send in your whispers from the palace. In fact, we've gotten a really great whisper from the palace who has asked us to do our next language challenge in Shanghainese.
Listeners, if you are Shanghainese and you have a little bit of lingo, a little bit of tips for us, please hit us up on Instagram, on Douyin, on Xiaohongshu. Did I say that right?
Yes.
On Bilibili. And we also have question and answers open up on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And you can let us know about some Shanghainese little phrases or something that we could do for a challenge. And we would be happy to perform them.
Especially because this week, Big Westie, do you have a challenge for me?
Ding Wule.
Oh!
Hey, with the Shanghainese.
So that's a no. And so because you did not prepare a challenge this week, and you failed the challenge last week, I am going to give you a special subscribers only challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Yes.
I want you to create for us a video representation of Zhenhuan Justice.
Do I get to be the judge?
No, but you get to be the bailiff.
Hey, I'm the creator, bitch. Don't try me. I'm the judge.
You're not the judge. I'm the judge, but you're the bailiff.
I can be bailiff.
And I want you to create a semi-scripted video for our subscribers to enjoy.
Okay.
Do you accept the challenge?
Is it going to be an improv challenge or is it
semi-scripted improv? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
got it.
And we will post it to iFadian for our subscribers in January.
I need about 6 bitches, but I got it.
We've got it.
Okay. Well, I guess the only thing left for us to say is
再见. If you like White Gaze, we would love for you to leave a review of our podcast, give us 5 stars, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen from. You can also support us by signing up to be a subscriber by going to anchor.fm/whitegaze/subscribe.
You can follow us at @reverse_cowboy_ and at Officer Trinity, and our White Gaze account is at White Gaze Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Douyin, TikTok, and the Anchor app.
White Gaze is not endorsed by Beijing TV Art Center. It is intended for entertainment purposes only. Zhen Huanjuan and all names, audio, pictures, and video clips are all registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respected trademark and/or copyright holders.
White Gaze is a podcast hosted by Weston Swift and Trenton Schneiders. Produced by Trenton Schneiders and Monty Shaw. Sound and audio by Trenton Schneiders. Media by Monty Shaw. Our theme song is White Gaze by Trenton Schneiders and Weston Swift.
Sisters, never were there more devoted sisters.
I'm Janice.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I'm Holly.
Yeah.
I'm Nora. And I'm Denise. And it's Kristen Wiig.
It's Kristen Wiig with the baby hands.
With the 6 head and the baby hands.
Yes.
I found a dead cat on the side of the road, so I took it home and put some honey on it, and I ate it. Is that bad? Do.